What did your friend do that accidentally turned you on? This one girl started tickling me. When I started tickling her back, she started to moan and said she was sensitive there. Awkward drive home. I was cracking jokes with a coworker, and when she laughed at something I said, she pushed at my chest in that "oh stop it you" kinda way, and oh boy, I damn near melted right then and there. I came back from freshman year college to visit high school and walked into the auditorium where an incredibly cute girl I was friends with saw me, stopped what she was doing, and literally ran up the aisle and jumped into my arms to hug me. Plot twist, married 26 years and have a son. As a guy, I decided to fall asleep on a close friend's lap, who then proceeded to stroke my hair and lightly pulling it. It was really hard to fall asleep cause I was more worried that I'd get a boner from that. A group of us went to a firework display, and during the usual louder and bigger finale fireworks, she jumped, grabbed my arm tight, and didn't let go. Not sure what happened inside me, but yeah, that did it. Held my hand for a few seconds. Just happened a few days ago. She was driving, and we held hands for a while. I'm still evaluating why that had such an impact on me. She dried my motorcycle seat with her sleeve while I was putting my helmet on. I had this friend that, while having long phone call sessions, she used to talk to me in this seductive sounding Colombian accent and called me bizcocho, which is cake in Spanish. Never thought being called a dessert would be hot, or maybe I'm just weird. A colleague friend took care of my wounded knee during work. We were alone in the canteen, and he was very sweet and caring. Guess I'm not used to that. She was the popular girl in our class. She said "I love you" to me as a friend, I think anyway, or I'm just incredibly freaking dense. I didn't like her, but it still made my heart flutter. Ruffled my hair. It wasn't that big a deal, but she was one of my close friends, and that just... wow. He was driving, and I was riding shotgun. He had to reverse to parallel park and turned his torso towards me, putting his arm around my seat in order to look back. He did that so confidently and effortless that it made me feel a little funny. There are no accidents, Master Uruguay. A friend of mine I had a crush on sucked on my fingers, as a joke kinda. Then someone told her they do it in XXX all the time and she never did it again, lol. Multiple things. First, in a party he danced with me and lifted me in the air. I'm not thin, and not many people tried this with me. Then on a trip we made with friends, his cousin made a tent using sheets and a bunk bed. We went inside to read manga on his phone. He put his arms around me so we both could see the screen. Before anyone asks, he wasn't into me back then, but now we've been together for nearly 4 years. I told her a joke and she smiled so much, looked at the ground, then gave me a "you're so funny" look. I honestly wanted to date her since then. It's been 3 years, and I'm still thinking of her. Guy here. Senior year of high school. A guy dares me to give a massage to my girl best friend. When she sits down, I start giving her a shoulder massage, which I've been told I'm very good at, and she lets out a couple of soft moans and completely relaxes. I had never really been attracted to her until then. Then I stopped, and she slumped back, tilted her head back, so I was looking at her upside down, and she said "don't stop so." That was some feelings I felt since this got a fair amount of views. Nothing ended up coming out of it. She had a boyfriend at the time, who was jealous of me for quite some time according to her. We haven't talked much in recent years, but we are having dinner and catching up either this weekend or next. Depends on if I have to work this weekend or not. I have feelings for her, but I'm not sure those feelings are strong enough / worth ruining our 18+ year friendship. He and I were watching a movie when he gave me a hug. While hugging me, he gently ran his hands up and down my back. He didn't mean anything sexual with it. I on the other hand have a very sensitive back and was severely turned on by it. The next day he made fun of me for being ticklish. I then admitted to the truth about that. Needless to say, he did it again later. We've been dating for over a year now, getting close to 2. I remember a girl classmate friend liking the smell of my deodorant and just grabbing onto my arm and then proceed to walk beside me. Really cute girl I had a crush on sat in my lap on the school bus headed home because there weren't enough seats. This same girl also told me I don't ever ask guys out because that's their job. Holy crap, I was so stupid! ! We were neighbors. She just kicked out her ex-BF and we lost power due to an ice storm. The power was restored later, but her heat wasn't working right. She called it in, but the maintenance people were busy with calls to fix heat in other units too. We were hanging out at my place watching movies and basking in my heat, though it was still chilly. So we were sharing a blanket on the couch, snuggled up together, and drinking whiskey. She passed out on the couch, so I put on an extra blanket on her and went to my room. About 1 hour later, she walks into my room and just falls into bed next to me, gets under the covers, snuggles up to me, then says I'm cold and passes out. I dunno, maybe I felt wanted and that she came to me for comfort. We didn't hook up or anything. The next morning she woke up and she made me breakfast and went back to her apartment to get her heat fixed. WTF happened between me posting this and now? Thanks I guess. When he whispers into my ear, even though sometimes it's just something silly and not Shrexy. He still does this. He takes my shopping bags and puts his hand on my back as we cross streets. I'm short and I have a limp and he's so kind and caring about it. I offered him a sip of my drink and he made intense eye contact with me as he slowly put the straw in his mouth and took a nice long sip. I found it kinda weird to be turned on so much by him sucking on a straw since I don't have a pages. We've been dating for over 2 years now. We were in some math class in high school and she was tutoring me mid-class. She was leaning over next to me as I was sat down and she had her hand on my back. She was almost whispering into my ear how to figure out this problem. Something about her voice was so soothing and arousing. It was very sensual and I still think about it often. Nothing ever happened with her. We grew apart after school. Something very similar happened at my job recently though, so it brought me back. When he flicked between languages whilst talking on the phone with his mother and then asking me to pass him his wallet. I knew people could switch it on and off like that, but I've never seen the flow quite as effortless. She was my female best friend at the time. We went out to watch A Star Is Born. She rested her head on my right shoulder. I was on cloud 9, I miss her. Have had several female friends bite me in a playful manner. Turned me on every single time. I have never been ladylike. So I was play fighting with a friend and he pined me down and shocked me a little. I still think about it sometimes. He jumped up, grabbed a fire escape ladder, pulled himself up, and climbed all the way to the top. Just oh dear. That's how I learned I have a thing for people climbing/pulling themselves up. Thank you for watching the video. Tell us your stories in the comments below. Happy Spooktober.